What's up, everybody? It's SamuraiT-X here, presenting you the British Grand Prix. And in the last episode, we did not score any points in both Spain and Monaco, the worst races of my career so far. Let's check the standings after those two races. Fernando Alonso leads Felipe Massa by 7 points, Michael Schumacher 13 points down the road, and Fisichella 20 points behind. And with Button gaining a podium, Sato moves down to 7th. So he's still 7th ahead of Montoya and Kimi Raikkonen, with Scott Speed and Christian Klein scoring points in Monaco, moving up to 11th and 12th respectively. And Albers got off the points scoring position, which means every team have scored, because Albers drives for Midland. So the rest of these drivers haven't scored any points, and Ferrari and Renault are neck and neck as it's the constructors' title, as they're on 86 points, with Honda down on 43 points and McLaren on 25, Subaru Agree on 13, Toyota on 6. Scuderia Toro Rosso moves up to 7th in 5 points, and Red Bull is also on 5 points after Klein scored 3 points for the team. And the rest have scored points. BMW Sauber's on 2 points, Williams on 1 point still, and Midland F1 is also on 1 point after Albers finished 8th in the last race, which was Monaco. So we're going to go to James Allen as he's ready to give his qualifying analysis. So take it away, James Allen. You're up now.
It's time for Saturday qualifying here at Silverstone. The first knockout session is about to begin. Who will make it through to session 2 and who will make up the back of the grid? Let's find out. It's Thiago Monteiro who is first out on circuit.
Cheers, James, and you join us here at the end of the sector, and we ran wide, so likely we're going to have another run at this because we're only showing the mistake that Sato made. And this mistake put him in P3 with a 126.5. That literally took at least 6/10 of his time. So now you join us in the second sector of his next run. And as you can see, he's going to run into traffic with the 3 cars ahead of him. One of them is a Toro Rosso. And we don't want to get our lap jeopardized by any of these cars. So we're going to definitely be more cautious to the wind here. And we're heading into the turn 1, which is Coppet. And well, that Toro Rosso kindly moved out of the way, and we get a 124.9, and that's 4th place. We're going to return to the garage. Is that enough?
We'll continue in a few moments with the second knockout session, where we'll decide grid positions 16 to 11.
And once again, it's no surprise that Mark Webber has been eliminated in the first qualifying session, who will start 17th. His miserable season continues in the Williams as he's getting outshined by Rosberg, and the usual suspects are out there. So now you join us with 3 minutes to go as this is Q2, and we haven't really posted a lap time because we kept cutting the chicane, so I don't want to show you when I cut the chicane now, do I? And we've posted a lap time here, and it's P16. That's very disappointing, a 127.585. We made a lot of errors as well. We had to back off because of the fact that we made cars pass because they were just hindering our lap time. So this is our last chance saloon. Will we make it to the next qualifying session? 5, 4, 3, and it's a 125.4, and I don't think that's enough. No, it's not. He's in P16.
In a few moments.
Well, Sato got 16th. He was 6/10 slower than DC, who's in 15th. So wow, that's very slow, and we needed a 124.161. Well, considering I did not get any practice on this track, to make it through to Q2 for me in this car is actually very good. So I'm pretty pleased with my performance, but I'm really going to have to improve in Silverstone. That's for sure, if I want to challenge in the foreseeable future, which I want to do.
So there we have it. From 10th to pole, the grid order looks like this. Thoroughly enjoyable qualifying session today. All that remains for me to say is see you tomorrow for another scintillating, action-packed Grand Prix.
And Fernando Alonso's first place, which is no surprise there, with Montoya second, who needed that. Fisichella's third, Michael Schumacher's fourth, Trulli's 5th, Massa's 6th, Raikkonen 7th, Button 8th, Barrichello 9th, and Heidfeld 10th. We're going to give you over to Martin Brundle, who's going to tell us about the history of Silverstone, as it's race day in Silverstone. So Martin Brundle, do take it away.
We're coming to you live from Silverstone for this year's British Grand Prix. Silverstone is the home of British motor racing. It was also the location of the first ever Formula One World Championship race back in 1950. Although the layout has changed over the years, the circuit still has some spectacular turns, including the sweeping Beckett's curves and the flat-out right-hander Bridge Corner. pretty much perfect weather conditions for racing here today, so we should see some very competitive lap times during this race.
Alright, you join us in the formation lap, and well,
Safe driving today, please. We don't want any unnecessary repair bills. The sponsors are looking to just get some good TV exposure by being on the track for the full duration of the race.
I lost your sense of humor.
I'm sorry, I have to I had to laugh there because of the fact that the engineer said that they wanted the TV exposure. The audacity of the engineer saying that, considering we've had 2 podiums, a pole position, and we're 7th in the championship. Of course we've had that TV exposure. Anyway, we're at the end of the parade lap, and when the 5 lights go out, we are racing here in Silverstone. As the Sato hits the acceleration, as he's ready to go, and he's off the line, and it's away we go here at Silverstone. It's a great start by Sato, who's overtaken both Coulthard, Jack Villeneuve, and Ralf Schumacher, and Rosberg in a matter of speaking. 4 places made up already heading into the start as we head into the first corner. No, the second corner as we go into Beckett's next, which is turns 4 and 5, and Chapels is 6. So here we are, turns 4 and 5, and turn 6 here is Chapels, and we're definitely going to have a tough time trying to compete in this race because of the fact that we just have had no practice at all in this track. But now we've made 3 places as we've overtaken Jack Villeneuve, Ralf Schumacher, and Dave Coulthard. Well, speaking of Ralf Schumacher, he's just went past us, but we made a mistake, so got a lot of work to do. But lap 1 definitely tends to have the AI not being as defensive. As you can see, we just overtook Ralf Schumacher for P13 on his inside. Yeah, his inside, sorry, and we've made a good start. So at least we're battling in the midfield. So the best thing about this, we haven't been knocked off the track, or we haven't retired on lap 1. So we're already having a better race than we did in Spain and Monaco. No reliability issues for now, but I don't want to curse my luck as we go on Rosberg's outside, and we've overtaken him for P12. And Christian Klein is next up as we overtake him on his inside, and we are in P11 as we head into lap 2 as we make the turn as we got past Woodcott, and now we're going to enter the Copse turning. Sorry, that's turn 1 anyway. Here it is, Copse turning, and then we're going to head into turns 2 and 3 before we go into Beckett's. So we're into P11, which is a very good start. We've moved up 5 positions already heading into lap 1. And right now Nick Heidfeld's our next person to chase down. And there was a retirement earlier. That's why there's debris and oil on the track, because there was a retirement as I was commentating the corners and whatnot. So right now Nick Heidfeld's 1.2 seconds down the road. He's lucky to have that better power and straight line speed compared to us, because we have the worst, because we are the newest team on the block. So is BMW Sauber actually, but they do have the BMW engine power, so it's more superior to Honda and Super Aguri in this case. So they have competed for points, and they are consistently around the top 10 sometimes. Well, Nick Heidfeld is anyway, not Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques Villeneuve is absolutely terrible. And I do plan on taking his seat in the foreseeable future, so yes, I do plan on stealing his seat when we do career mode, because Jacques Villeneuve, I don't like him, especially after what he did to me in Monaco. Yes, you must be thinking, will you let that go? The answer is no, I'm not going to let that go. Well, we are into lap 3, and I think Fernando Alonso is still leading onto the lap delta, and Montoya's second with Fisichella Ferdinand, the 2 Ferraris in 4th and 5th. And the oil, we just got past the oil on the track, and we skipped a lap because nothing really happened there. But here's the first incident that we suffered. Our race is going very well until we ran wide, and we've been penalised for it. So I think this is our real first penalty heading into this season. We've not really had one single penalty, and we're trying to defend for our place. And Liuzzi's just flew by, and we've dropped to 12. So Vitantonio Liuzzi in the Scuderia Toro Rosso has gained an advantage from Sato holding back, and there's contact. I think Klean's trying desperately to pass Sato, and he did not succeed, and we maintained 11th place. Wait, no, someone's pitted, so we're 11th place actually. I think it's Fisichella that pitted earlier, so, well, just now actually. So we're into 11th place, and Liuzzi's up to 10th. And we've ran wide yet again. Oh my goodness, we're really making a big old mess out of this, and we're going to get a penalty again. So yeah, we're going to have to defend our position, and Liuzzi's just ran away, and now we've got Mr. DC and Ralf Schumacher chasing us down. And Coulthard's ready to go up on the outside, and we've defended that position very well. Unfortunately, getting penalised twice, and that's going to be pretty much it. We're going to have to try and hold P11 if we can, or P... Well, this is... well, arguably, this is position 12 that we're fighting for, because we were P11... we were position 13, sorry, because Fisichella is in the pits, and Liuzzi overtook us, so... position 12 because of the fact that we were P11 but Liuzzi overtaken us. So this is currently position 12 we're fighting for. So we're actually competing with the midfield, but hopes for scoring points is not really there because we're off the pace throughout the entire weekend. And by that I mean I'm at least 1.5 seconds slower than I'm not gonna. Oh, there's David Coulthard trying to have a go at us on our outside, but yeah, as I say, we're 1.5 seconds off the pace of the front runners, so yeah, we're not really going to compete for points. But we've moved up to 7th, lucky us, because everybody's in the pit lane, but I don't want to get too carried away, and I don't think much happens in this lap, so we're going to skip to the moment that we're going to dive into the pit lane in about a few seconds, because not much is really happening apart from the opening few laps, as we and the two moments we ran wide, so yeah, this race wasn't really nothing to talk about, but we are still ahead of DC. But Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso did their pit stops and ended up ahead of us. See, if we didn't get penalised, we probably would have been ahead of both of them for now. I'm probably holding them up, to be honest, because we're not really competing here right now. But holding them up would have probably been benefited Montoya, if I'm honest with you. Because Montoya's still out of the pit lane, and we skipped to the end of the fight, the 7th lap, and we almost dodged the pit lane completely. And that would have been terrible if we did. But we've entered the pits from P7. And there goes everyone else passing us because they're heavily fueled. We've decided to pit on lap 7, so the Super Aguri boys are waiting for Takuma Sato. And here we go. This is going to be an important pit stop to get ahead of David Coulthard and Jacques Villeneuve. And well, we've gone slow in one of the buttons to press, which was circle, so it's going to cost us some time. And again, this cost us some time. 9.3 seconds, that's easily our slowest pit stop, and we just about got ahead of Ralf Schumacher. And we've hit the barrier! Just imagine, that would have been the most embarrassing pit exit ever if my wheel came off after hitting the barrier. That would have been terrible. I think we suffered some bit of damage actually, but if this was an actual, if this was one of the newer games like Formula 1 2016 and 17, and we hit the, we clipped the barrier heading exiting out the pit lane, that would have been a retirement actually, because you know, your car is made out of paper mache. You know, it's very sensitive, so you can't really hit any sort of wall or barrier, because if you do, you're going to retire in those games. But yeah, not much really happens after that. As you can see, David Coulthard's just come out ahead of us, so yeah, we've lost a position. So we're currently fighting for... When we lost the position to Jacques Villeneuve, of all people, we've lost the position to Jacques Villeneuve, but we're chasing him down, because he's on cold tyres, so we've got an advantage. But running wide, a bit wide did not really help our cause to try and catch Jacques Villeneuve, because that resulted in us falling even back even more. So Jacques Villeneuve is pretty much going to hold P13, I believe, for now. Unless we can catch him. We're just going to follow him as we can see him on our radar. And as you can see, he got away from us as we skip into with 4 laps remaining. So Jacques Villeneuve has got away from us slightly a bit more. And running wide has not helped our cause once again, as we've made a mistake. And Jacques Villeneuve has gone. So now we're going to battle for P14 with Ralf Schumacher. This is the place we're going to be throughout the entire race now, because of the fact that everybody's run away from us. So, oh, Ralf Schumacher's just dive bombed us, and contact there. We've not damaged our front wing, thank goodness, and Ralf Schumacher's got a puncture. So, yeah, Ralf Schumacher's taking advantage of P14, and now Cleon's behind us. But we're going to go on his inside and overtake him for P14. This is impressive stuff by Takuma Sato to fight for P14, considering the last few races he's had nothing but retirements before the first lap was even completed. But now this has been a better race from us because of the fact that it's at P60, we've moved up 2 positions. I suppose that was the best we could do, because we're at least 1.5 to 2 seconds off the pace each lap. Unfortunately for us, and the mistakes we've made and the penalty we received by going wide twice really hasn't helped our course, so we've really fallen back quite a bit. And we're on the penultimate lap here, as We are well off the pace. As you can see, Fernando Alonso's pretty much close to lapping us. Look, there he is. Ralf Schumacher's had to go on outside. My goodness, he's still not giving up on this place. And they've said Fernando Alonso has started his final lap, I believe. There we go.
He looks as if he's trying to prove a point. That's extended the gap by 4/10.
Wow. Alright, so Fernando Alonso... I don't think they were talking about Fernando Alonso. I think they were talking about Montoya. Oh, there we go. Now he started his final lap. So we're well behind, as you can tell. And there comes a team radio.
Okay, I don't want to know.
Of course we don't want to know that Fernando Alonso started his final lap. Why would we want to know? We're like on the penultimate lap. We're well off the pace. We already knew that. We just want to finish the race and try and not get lapped. Because getting lapped would be embarrassing considering how far off the pace I've been this week for this race. But unfortunately for me, at least, well, not unfortunately, fortunately for me, we did make up places and we did make Q2, so there's a bit of positives heading into Silverstone with lack of practice as well. So when you don't really practice in F1 games, you will get punished for it, and this is my punishment personally by not competing. But I am in the slowest car. If I was in a faster car, I probably would be up a bit more, like in probably P10 or something. If I was in like a BMW Sauber or something like that, I probably would be higher up, but I've chosen to be at the back of the grid to gain some experience and for me to get used to this game again, because I will do another career. I will do a career mode eventually, or I might go back and do a World Championship mode with another game, like from a PS2 era. And we've ran wide on the final lap, and we're going to have a contest with Ralf Schumacher here, as we're not going to keep an eye, we're not going to skip any of this lap because it's the final lap. So what's the point? Fernando Alonso has already won the race. As we start our final lap and finish just sector 1 of this track, of this race, of this final lap, Fernando Alonso's already finished. So we were very close to getting lapped. Imagine if we had 2 more laps left. Fernando Alonso definitely would have lapped us, for sure. And I probably would have held him up trying to give him time to pass, to be honest. Because Fernando Alonso is running away with this championship, so I probably would have found an appropriate time for him to pass, like probably a straight. But I wouldn't want to hold him up because I probably would have got penalised and a disqualification. But good thing I'm not getting lapped in this race, but this has been really poor for me considering lack of practice. I wouldn't say poor as in very poor, but it could have been better. If I put in some practice in this track, I would have definitely gone better than P13. Wait, P13? Wasn't I P14? Somebody's retired. Who? Who fell back? I thought we were P14 this entire time, but we finished P13. My goodness.
Silverstone comes up trumps again, another fantastic race. And so we conclude the final part of this first European leg. We'll be back here in mid-July to decide some of the other famous European races like Manicourt in France and the second German Grand Prix venue, Hockenheim. In the meantime, we travel to Montreal, Canada for another captivating F1 race on the famous Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Following that, we'll be revisiting the scene of much controversy with regard to tyres in 2005, Indianapolis. See you there in 2 weeks' time.
My goodness, Giancarlo Fisichella got lapped? Good lord, when did he pit again? What happened to him? I have no idea what happened to Giancarlo Fisichella, but he was legit running P3. And now he's been lapped. As you can see, we're no longer in the top 8 of the World Championship because both Kimi Raikkonen and Montoya finished an impressive second place for him to move up. So we're down to P9. Fernando Alonso's extended his championship lead to 13 points over Massa. But yes, Sato has moved down to P9, unfortunately. And yes, Mark Webber's miserable season continues, and so does Ralf Schumacher to Jack Villeneuve, who's yet to score. But there's the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari lead Renault by 1 point after Fisichella did not score any points at all, while McLaren closed the gap on Honda, and Subaru Greece fallen behind as they did not score at all. So, yes, this was a very interesting race, especially if you're Ferrari, because now you're leading the Constructors' Championship, but Fernando Alonso's extended his lead, so it's a lose-lose situation. But anyway, the next Grand Prix will be in Canada. I hope that I will have a better race next weekend, because boy, the last 3 races have really been miserable. This race was just educational for me, because I came in with lack of practice. So anyway, I will practice better the next time. But anyway, this is SamuraiT-X signing out. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you guys for the Canadian Grand Prix. Goodbye.